or Petruni b'shvilatzmi, ela kulu b'shvil Abba. You have to say that I was sent to the town here for whatever I'm doing because my father asked me to do it. So that's one example of kibud as we've discussed before. B'moso ketzad. Hayo omer davar shmua mipiv. Let's say he's recounting something that he had heard in his father's lifetime and he's retelling it. Lo yomer kach amar Abba. You shouldn't say, this is what my father said. Ela kach amar Abba moiri. Hareini kaparos mishkavo. And I am, in the sense, I am an atonement for his resting place. As Rashi comments there, Allah yavo kol ra roy lavo nafsho. You're almost saying, let anything bad that would have happened to him happen to me. Hanimili toch 12 chodesh. This statement of saying that is only in the first 12 months. Mikan ve'elech oimer, beyond 12 months, if you're going to quote your parent, you should say zichron livracha l'chaya olam haba. So according to the Gemara, one honors one's parents after their death by using the words hareini kaporas mishkavo within 12 months of the death, or saying zichron livracha. May his be his memory for a blessing. And this halacha is brought down by the Shulchan Aruch. I just want to comment the footnote in the Psakim with Shuvos. Again, this is the Pischei, the son of the Pischei Tshuva, who lists many other commonly practiced customs that are generally considered to be based on the notion of kibud, including reciting Kaddish for them, serving as the chazan during the year following death, or practicing the various customs of Avelis for almost a year following death, when he gives stock on their behalf. And Rav Soloveitchik's practice of delivering a yahrzeit shir in memory of his parents. These would all follow under this concept of kibud after death. Says the Shulchan Aruch in Yoredeya Reish Mem, Chayv l'chabdo filo achar moisoy ketzad, and he brings the Gemara, Hay omer davar shmua mipiv, omer kacha ma'aber mori, hareini kaporos mishkavo. Im hu toch 12 chodesh, the Shulchan Aruch clearly says that that has to be done within 12 months. The Malachar 12 chodesh omer zichron livracha. Says the Ramah, ve'ein chiluk ben aim la'av v'chol zeh. Yesh oimrim, the imkoisev toch 12 chodesh davar, that if he's going to write a letter, or write anything in that first 12 months, and he mentions his father, Maskir Aviv, ein tzarech lichtov hareini kaparos mishkavo. So that's an oral declaration that you're supposed to say. But when you write, it's enough to say zichron livracha. The Ramah's svara is because the writing is going to persist even after 12 months. But says the Ramah, some are machmir, and that's actually the minig, to write hareini kaparos mishkavo even in a written thing. According to the Meiri, after 12 months of the death, one may use any expression with a similar connotation to zichron livracha as well. So, for example, we say alav shalom. So the Meiri says in his commentary on Kiddushin. By the way, you should know the Meiri was only found in a Geniza 100 years ago. The Meiris are Rishons. The Beis HaBechira is on every, but some of the psak of the Meiri are controversial because there wasn't 500-600 years of achronim commenting on the Meiri, but the Meiri is always an important source that's quoted. But you should know that it's Rishon that we only found in the last 100 years.
How did you know?
In the Cairo Geniza, that was a shul that was found in Cairo, where people throw away shemus, but there were
early 20th century.
Yeah, early 20th century was the Cairo Geniza was found, and there was shame, and so there's things from the Gaonic period from 800, 900, and it's a huge source for academic scholars in researching, not just writings of Rabbanim, but this was invitations that people sent, ksubas, all sorts of documents that the historians find social and cultural history by evaluating the Cairo Geniza. But a big find was the Meiri. And there was Rabbi Blau. There was a Rabbi Blau. He used to travel. He may have went to South Africa, but in the 60s and 70s, I have a collection from my father-in-law. Ben would always buy, so he has a whole bunch of kadmoinim. Rabbi Blah was the one who printed a lot of these early Rishonim in the Cairo Geniza. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Remember, sure.
An old man with white beard, and he would travel around.
Every year, yeah.
Okay.
Wat did it that in the Geniza?
Say it again?
What did it end up the Geniza?
No, Geniza shame. You know, when you have a book
Yeah, and-
written in Hebrew, so you don't throw it away. They threw it in a Geniza.
Yeah, but it's a book
Seamus.
I don't want it anymore.
Okay, that's exactly. So this was a ruin. This was a ruin of a shul that was found, and for some reason, based on the atmospheric conditions, whatever, these documents were still in good condition. Okay.
I like the expression.
That's how it
"Zichrono
shapes
l'chayil
your
haba." It's a very nice way to express it. The way they use it.
Zichron l'chayil hamabar, the kayotze b'zeh. So the Ben Ish Chai,
L'chaya olam haba.
that's what the Miri says.
Yeah, but what does that mean exactly? In other words, you remember him.
May his
walking-
memory be a blessing for the world to come.
And you're acknowledging that there's an Olam Haba.
So the Ben Ish Chai was an Iraqi posek who lived 1850 to 2000 to 1900, in that period of time, and Ovadia Yosef very much leans on the Ben Ish Chai. He's like Kivyochel, like the Mishnah Brura for the Sfardim. So, and he does it by parsha, his halachas. So Chayv l'chabed es aviv achar moso, shumu b'soch 12 chodesh l'ptiroso. If he's within 12 months of the death of his father, kishemasker shem aviv yoimar, he should say, Hareini kaparos mishkavo. Again, quoting the Gemara. Lachar 12 chodesh yomar zichrono livracha o alav shalom. So the statement of saying alav shalom is clearly something that the Ben Ish Chai brings down. It's the first time we've seen it. V'imhu kosev b'michtav, but if he writes a letter, we need to share, because we don't have, I don't think, volume 2. Yeah, share with Bernie. V'im kosev b'michtav, if you write in a letter, yesh oimim de'ein tzarech lichtov hareini kaporos mishkavo, v'yesh machmir lichtov hareini kaporos mishkavo, kol din ze noig gam be'imo. Again, he says, it's all noig for the mother as well.
Nice.
So we started off by saying that you have to be machabed your parents after death as well, and that if you say something in the name of your father within the first 12 months, you should say Hareini kaparas mishkavo, and that there's a debate if you write within the first 12 months, do you have to write that or not? So we saw that the Shulchan Aruch says you have to write it. The Ben Ish Chai also says yesh machmir lichtov at that. But he brought a yesh omrim. The Ramah brought a yesh omrim that you don't. And the Meiri also said that you don't. So, although the expression Hareini kaparas mishkavo is mentioned clearly in the sources, what does that mean, Hareini kaparas mishkavo? According to Rashi and the Gemara, it's to be understood that the son will receive whatever punishment would have befallen the father. But is it actually possible for the son to suffer in the place of the father for the father's sins? So the B'tzel HaChochma, Rabbi Tzalel Stern was the Rav in Melbourne in the early 50s. And then he eventually moved to Israel. And they were thinking about making him the head of the Eidah Charedis. He was not at the end. But he lived in Israel till like the 70s or 80s when he was nifter. And he's the B'tzel HaChochma,
Stern? Did you not move to Vienna?
B'tzalel Stern. This is Dr. Agenstein. Marty, I'm in a shear right now that I'm giving. Can I call you back? Okay, bye.
Yeah, he moved to Vienna before moving to Israel.
He may have moved to Vienna as well, but he was the Rav in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the B'tzel HaChochma in his response says, V'toma Shoel, So B'tzel addresses this issue in the B'tzel HaChochma, and he brings the Rav Moshe, that the statement is really not to be taken at face value, the Kaparas Mishkavo statement. V'toma Shoel, V'arei kaimel and mechabdu mishel ha'av. So first of all, we know that the din of kibud of ha'av, who's supposed to pay the money for it? For example, you're supposed to feed your father and give him to drink, but we said it's for the father's money. But if the responsibility to be mechabed your father is really not on you financially, he's learning almost like a kavachomer. How could it be possible that you're going to suffer physical punishment that was due to your father, that doesn't make any sense. If you don't have to pay mammon, why would you suffer physically? We always know that sometimes Hashem takes it off on the eitzim and on the avonim, that he makes you lose monetary things before he'll afflict your body. So, so he commented on this in his tshuva. So he wants to say that in a sense, the level of kibbud rises after his death, where now you might even have to spend money on it. But Malas Kvod Taraso Shlita B'Chilas Dvarav Heir, the one who wrote him the letter, he's pointed out, Kikvar Amad B'Kushya Zagon HaOdir, Rav Moshe Feinstein Zatzal. Rav Moshe already dealt with this. The Tiritz, the Be'emet, Kishoyma Harini Kapars Mishkava, Lomo Ilim Dvarav Klum. It's not like those words are just words. It's not that they're causing something to happen. It's not that he's going to get punished for the sins of his father. It's just language for Chabed the father. You're expressing your desire that if somehow it could happen, you would be willing to accept Yisroel on behalf of your father. But not mamish that it's going to happen. Umedayek Rav Moshe just doesn't say that. He's medayek from Lashon Rashi Masechta Sukkah. Shekosov al Hodam Reish Lakish Hareini Kaparas Rav Chi Uvanov. Reish Lakish made a statement that he was going to be the atonement for Rav China's sons. Upirish Rashi Lashon Kavod Uzeh. Look at Rav Moshe found an obscure Rashi somewhere to support his concept. So Kushumaskar Aviv or Rabba Lachar Misos Tzarech Lomar Kain. But he's bringing from Rashi that it's just a Lashon Kavod. So that this halacha is clearly delineated in the Gemara Shulchan Aruch, we've clearly seen that. Nevertheless, it seems that many individuals today do not practice it. Does anybody around this table remember that using that language of Hareini Kaparas Mishkavo? L'chora, it's not something that has taken hold in Minhag Yisrael. So Rav Sternbuch, the Moadim Uzmanim, a current day posek, Tzvika just visited him a couple weeks ago, so Rav Moshe Sternbuch is still active. The Moadim Uzmanim, Shuvas for Hanhagos, he has multiple collections of responsa. He's the head of the Badatz, of the Av Bezin of the Haredi community in Yerushalayim. He speaks English very well. He was the Rav in South Africa for many years. He knows a lot about science and modern day things as well. Rav Moshe Sternbuch addresses this issue in the Chuvas Vanagos and suggests a defense. He wants to be Malamid Schus for those of us who never said Hareini Kaparas Mishkavo. Suggests a defense for those who are not accustomed to using this expression. Based on his explanation, he also offers another interpretation for the words Hareini Kaparas Mishkavo. Says the Chuvas Vanagos. Yes, Bernie.
I just have a thought as to how to interpret Hareini Kaparas Mishkavo.
Hareini
Mishkava.
Mishkavo.
Since the nifter is no longer able to perform mitzvahs, his son or whoever his descendant is still can find a way by performing mitzvahs to do kaparas nishmaso.
He finishes it off.
In other words, it's not actually suffering physical torment, but performing mitzvahs to overcome whatever bad is left for the neshama.
You want to say that the kapara is through other means other than physical yisur.
Right.
Okay?
Well, we know that
We know that
if the father leaves over a korban, that the son has to bring it.
Well, we had a machlokas in the Gemara whether Yorish is
Yeah.
Yorish soymech. He can bring it, but whether he does smich or not is a different story.
yeah, but maybe it comes from basically from that it's going to be on the generations to come. Whatever you do will come to suffering on your children.
But normally we say, sons will not suffer for the sins of the father. It's a pasuk that we say. So that's right. Lo yumsu avos al banim.
And yeah, he says at the bottom what Rav Steinberg said.
So Reisi, let's see Rav Sternbuch. Reisi betoisus riazakein. So he's fighting in a the re in the Tosfos. He doesn't say where. Shemafarishu she'achiv loymar kain hurak b'shomei davar shmua mei aviv. when you, so he wants to say that saying the Hareini Kaporos is when you hear a Dvar Shmua, a halachic ruling, is when you say that. But regarding a regular statement, right, the Hayin Dvar Halacha, but Dvar Rishus ain't a tzarich lomer Hareini Kaporos Mishkov. So what's the distinction? Why for Dvar Halacha you would say it, and for Davar Ba'alma you would not say it? Mufarsh Harav Rabbi Yitzchak Kazak, and the Ri explains, Shekin Mavur Gan B'Shitas HaRambam, Perek Vav Behilchos Mamrim, Shekosav, Haya Omer Davar Shmua Mipiv. If somebody said over the words of Kalosh Nabaraisa, Ayin Sham, Lefi Zeh Nireh, Shakin Ein Geder Amiras HaKaporos Mishkov Kabbalas Onshi Ames Al Chato Ames. Like Bernie wanted to suggest, this statement isn't a Kabbalah of punishment that the mace would be getting. Elish im yomer dvar halacha b'shem aviv. The possibility is if you're going to say a word, a dvar halacha, in the name of your father, hala ala l'tal, you might make a mistake. Ubiprat kishe'enu el dvar shmua. Especially because it's something that you might have only heard, so you don't have the exact detail. V'alkein tzarich lomer hareini kaporos mishkavo. Hainu, shekol hara she'gilo aviv al yedei dvar. That means, I'm about to quote a Dvar Halacha in the name of my father. I might quote it wrong, and therefore something bad might come out of this Dvar Shmua. So if I am quoting it wrong, so anything that bad that might have happened because of that, lo yanei shaviv, my father shouldn't get punished for that. Elahu agorim lakach. It's his quotation of it. Either he didn't take the notes right, he didn't hear it well, he's not giving it over properly. And that explains the pshat, why it's only the first 12 months. Sha'az Haim Yemei Mishpat. We know the neshama for 11 months is being judged.
So what about you rabbi? Same thing?
Because we have many dinim Av and Rabbah.
Rabbi,
So
yeah.
it could be, it's the same.
Because if
It could be the same, right?
it's not
Yeah,
about the father, it's about the Dvar
it's
Torah.
about a Dvar Torah. But again, you have a certain relationship with the Rav like you are with the father. You have to machabed him, there's certain dinim applying to that. So, umachmir alaviv ma'od bedina kasha. So the first 12 months, since he's undergoing a din right then, so we have to be very careful with what we say. Avala achar shekibel onsho, but after the first 12 months, loy chayshinim lakach. We're not so worried about it. V'osi shapim. And therefore, afshar ramon maybe shagam be'ima omer kain, v'lo shayach etzlo dvar shmuel halacha. Now, the way that we just explained, it has to do with the dvar halacha. Well, a mother usually is not going to quote a dvar halacha. Mikol makom shayach gam etzla shemesaper minhagim. So we say over, I learned a lot of minhagim from my grandmother, Bluma Carniol, how they did it in Sukul, how they did Galicia, how they did the certain din, how they cooked the cholent, they used to schlep it to the baker on before Shabbos. It was a communal bake. So these minhagim we also heard over from our mothers and grandmothers. Oshmo sebanagos, v'ulai einam meduyakim. And maybe when you say over the minig, you're not saying it over correctly. So it's not just a dvar halacha. L'fi zeh, hanahagim loimer kol ema shemazkim mimenu al shmo areni kaparos mishkava. So those who are following the poskim, kepachas poskim, osi shapi, they're doing fine. Aval gam le'nimnoim, those of us who were not knowing to say it, kishe'enu dvar shmo mipiv yesh yisod. So first of all, if it was a statement that your father had made that had nothing to do with halacha, so it's very fine that you didn't say Hareini Kaporos Mishkavo, because it doesn't really apply. V'omim rak zichron levracha, sheptu mimili, it's machabed, marbe mimilim k'dei l'ratzos, ve'en mitzkavel ledvav, l'kabel lav onshim. It's clearly not something that you're going to accept punishments. According to Rav Sternbuch, one can defend the custom of those who are lenient as relying on the minority opinion of the Riyah Zaken, like we said in Kiddushin, that who interprets the Gemara's case when you say Hareini Kaporos Mishkavo only on a Dvar Shmua, referring to halachic ruling in the name of one's father. But in any other case, one would not need to add the words Hareini Kaporos Mishkavo. Okay.
No, it's interesting, it only disappoints us kibbutz someone that passes away. It doesn't go through all the different halachas you had when he was alive. First, like chairs, sitting in a chair.